Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. End of the week trading results and a little bit of commentary. We'll talk about how to trade without emotions, and maybe we'll try to figure out why other people continually trade with these crazy emotions, literally staring at charts all day, wondering what they should do. Ironically, we're looking at my mobile device here, looking at a chart, something I don't really do. The only time I ever look at a chart or go to a chart is when I'm already in a trade and maybe I want to get out, maybe I want to cut some losses, maybe I want to take profit early. That's why and when I look at a chart. But as far as looking at a chart for entry, that causes some sort of psychological dopamine dump in your brain, and you start getting emotional about when should I enter, or I should have entered here. What my software does when you plug into it is it handles the 95+% of issues that you would have that causes you to be emotional about trading. So by using my software, you get to extract and get rid of the emotions around trading. I'll give you some examples. We'll look at today's results. But the idea is this, and I'm just going to be pretty high level with you here about how this works. But if you wanted to get the results that I'm going to show you today, we're going to look at daily results here at the end of the week. The market closes in about another hour. We'll also look at the total. We'll look at the weekly results on each different software. We'll kind of look at some totals for the end of the week. Now, that's not indicative of the amount that you'll make, because my software is scalable. You could make more, you could make less, because it's about your account, your broker, your leverage. It's about ultimately your account balance and how much you're willing to risk or not risk. And that is really what's nice about my software. It has that complete flexibility. Now, as I was saying, if you wanted to produce the results I'm about to show you on your own, let's just talk about this, just out loud kind of stream of consciousness, what you would have to do. You would first have to buy a robot and automation that you understood the strategy for, the entry strategy. And there is hundreds of thousands of them out there. So out of the hundreds of thousands of strategies, you would have to choose the right one. At that point, you'd then have to buy the software, whatever that costs. You'd have to host it in the cloud. That costs a monthly fee. You would have to also go buy the historical data to then run that robot or that automation through that historical data and optimize it. Because certainly a strategy is a strategy, but I'll give you an example. The RSI that we're looking at on the screen right now, you can see, if I open my trusty pen here, I've got the RSI set at a 4. Well, there's a myriad of settings. So if you're going to enter, should it be a 4? Should it be a 9? Should it be a 14? Should it be a 21? You don't know. And in fact, every currency pair is different. So now I just added a layer. You would have to optimize that software, hoping that you bought the right strategy. You'd then have to optimize it with historical data that you have to pay a monthly fee for. You'd also have to be tech savvy enough to be able to make these 4, 5, 6 different softwares work together. And I'm not trying to say that this is that complicated, but it takes years and years to learn what I'm expressing to you here. When you plug into my software as an example, you're getting 10+ years of experience that you didn't have to go through to get the results that you would get immediately. The first trading day, the first week, the first month. You're going to get great results, assuming you can puppeteer the entire thing in your account. Meaning, I don't know, maybe you have a $500 account. You can't bid what I bid. Maybe you have a $100,000 account. Maybe you want to bid more than I bid. So it's fully scalable in that relation. So once you've optimized this particular robot that we're talking about, the concept here, you then have to optimize it on each currency pair. So finding the right strategy to begin with is nearly impossible. Frankly, I'm going to be honest with you, I got lucky. I dug and I dug and I dug for years until I started to be able to see the light and understand the best way to trade with automation. So you also have to, for example, optimizing a currency pair can take up to a week. So there's 28 currency pairs plus about 4 indices and metals that we trade. So about 32 total. So technically you're going to spend 32 weeks, I kid you not, optimizing that software for each currency pair because it takes a long time. It's not a 5-minute deal. When you're optimizing a currency pair, you're going to spend at least a couple days. At least. And that's if you know what you're doing and you're running through it fast. I can run through an optimization on a currency pair in a couple days. Normally it took me about a week. It's because not only the learning curve, but also just the time that it takes to optimize a certain number of parameters on any given automation and tool. At that point, once it's set up, you also have to maintain it. You know, if you have a cloud server, you need to reset it every weekend. It's based on Windows. You need to do Windows updates. And all of the installations, for an example, I'll give you one side example and then we'll move on to results. And I'm not trying to make this sound hard. I'm trying to be real with you so you also understand the value of plugging in to a software such as myfxsoftware.com. You're getting 10 plus years and 10,000 plus hours of experience by simply plugging into this software. So my software will do the entry and the exit. What it doesn't really do is it doesn't know how much money you have in your account. It simply places a trade that it knows will be profitable. Will it be profitable on your account? It certainly will be, as long as you didn't overbid. As long as you didn't take more trades than your account would really allow. And you might be saying, what's the best bid? And how many currency pairs? Which currency pair should I trade? That is unique to you. That's not an answer that I can give. In fact, here's a good analogy. I get the question weekly, nearly every day, before someone comes in and plugs into my software. They say this. They say, do you have a MyFX book account? Here's what they're asking me. They're asking me to show them one of my accounts, and they are looking for my account that I would show them to be absolutely successful in the way that they want it to be. Remember, this is my account. It's the way that I'm trading it. And what they want to do is they want to look at my account and they want to say, oh, your drawdown's really high. Well, it's not high for me. They might say, that profit that you're making in that MyFX book statistics, they might say that profit you're making, that's not enough for me. The problem with asking someone such as myself, if I can give you the MyFX book stats or data on what you're saying is, show me one piece of software on one small data slice on someone else's account that trades completely different than you. That's a problem. That is an absolute problem, because when you ask for my FX book stats, my first question is, oh yeah, great. Which algorithm? Which month? Which account leverage? Which broker? Which balance? Oh, you have a small balance? Well, I have a big balance, so my drawdown's going to scare you. Oh, you have a large account, but you're looking at my smaller account, and you think my 1% drawdown is going to transfer to your larger account? There is an endless amount of accounts, account sizes, brokers, leverage, softwares, entries, number of trades. There is no way to look at my account other than basics, which we'll look at here. There's no way to look at my account and to completely transfer those results to you, other than the fact that if I had a winning trade, that's great. You could also win that trade if that trade fits your account. Do I guide you and help you on what to do there? Obviously. I'm not going to let you do something, I'm not going to let you start a $500 account and start bidding $10 per pip. Why? You'll do pretty well for a while, and then you won't. So I'll end this idea with this. I have no idea, my friends, why people still manually trade. I don't understand it. That is adding those emotions to an already difficult market, especially if you're doing it manually. Adding those emotions, you're going to lose. The human brain doesn't even have the processing ability to do, in fact, segue right here, to do what you're looking at here. Let me give you an example of what we're looking at here. This is an account that I use for myself, and my group members see this, and I use this for what I call market pressure understanding. I want to understand what the market pressure is right now on all currency pairs that we trade, 28 currency pairs. This one particularly does not include the indices and the metals. So this is all 28 currency pairs right now in the market that have produced a trading signal, that are in a trade. Out of 28 pairs, if I scroll down here, we're at about, what, 12.5 trades, okay? dozen and a half trades. Obviously, some currency pairs are open. You can see AUD, CHF there. It's open a couple different pairs. And let's see, CHF, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, CHF, JPY, a couple trades, basket of trades is what we call it. So I'm looking at the market pressure. Here's what I'm looking at. Because this is a large account, I'm not necessarily looking at margin level percent, but that is my main focus. Here's what I know. I know I'm not bidding so much in this account that the margin level percent is going to decrease so far that the broker is going to close these trades. If it ever got to that point, I'm not saying it can't. If it ever got to that point, I would simply start taking some partial losses, closing down some trades, and I would manage the number of trades and the amount of bid in my account. I would manage that to increase my margin level percent higher than I might want it, or higher than it might be before the broker gives me a stop out and just starts closing my trades. When's that happen? It happens at about 70%. In this case, we're at 14,000%. So we're a long way. But one of the things I look at on this account when I determine market pressure, and this is ephemeral, this is esoteric, this is a feeling. I look at this every day. I look at it all day. So right now we're $450 in market pressure. That is on the low side, and I would call it on the medium, on the low side, still medium low. It's not medium, but it's medium low. So we're on the low side. What was this yesterday? I think it was like $90. So you can see we've pushed more than that, but this is still very, very low. So what I like to do, and one of the things I do for my members, is I'm constantly talking about market pressure, and all I do is look at this number. I'm like, now what's the highest I've seen market pressure recently? About $2,000. What's that mean? It means this particular account trading all 28 currency pairs, the ones that are active at that moment. It means if it was $2,000, it means that there's $2,000 worth of market pressure. It's using $2,000 of my account at a base bid of 0.1 or $1 per pip. So I don't want to lean too much on that, but this concept right here takes all of the pressure away, 99% of the pressure, and 99% of that, when I say pressure, I mean the emotions of it. This is just happening for us. I look at it and I go, oh, I never had to go over here. I never had to look at a chart. I never had to understand when to trade, when to get out. And in fact, it's kind of funny. Back in the day, people would say, well, if you want to be a successful trader, choose one currency pair and trade that. I went down that path. And when I look back and I understand that advice, here's what they were really saying. The human brain cannot keep track of more than a handful of things at a time. Certainly keeping track of 28 currency pairs on a 24-hour-a-day basis is emotionally, physically, mentally impossible. So why would you try? And even if you're only trading one pair, which you can do with my system, why would you do it manually? Go ahead and if you're in love with a currency pair like GBP USD, you can activate it in my software, and every trade you get will be a GBP USD trade, and it will trade at the pace it's going to trade at whatever that currency pair is moving at that given point in time. But why would you ever manually stare at a chart and think about when you're going to enter? It's pure insanity. Pure insanity. Let me show you an example. So let's go to an open pair right now, and let's just look at what would be a good one to look at. Let's look at something a little bit more volatile. Let's look at, I want something also that was really not that much volatility going on. Let's look at Swiss franc, Japanese yen. I'm going to pull this up on the chart, and we're looking at the 5-minute. Let's zoom out. Normally, my system's typically going to trade on the 5-minute just because I like the speed and the movement of it. So let's go to the 1 hour here. This is probably a good example. So this line down the center here is the day separator. So today's Friday. This is Friday over here. This is Thursday over here. Okay. We're just looking at this on the hourly chart. So if you look at these little arrows on the screen, here were a couple buy trades, couple sell trades. Here's a buy trade, couple sell trades. Here's a sell trade. And each of these in a basket of trades or individually have been profitable and will be profitable. This thing on my end, my software always wins. If you're raising your bid, or if you're taking more pairs than your account can handle, you might not do as well. You might not win every trade. And when I say win, I mean it generically in the sense that I don't care if we go into one trade and it takes profit, or we go into 3 trades on that pair and it takes profit. That's a win. A win is a win is a win. And here's what I look at as a win. If we go to history When I look at today, it's closed $241 in profit overnight. That does not mean that you are going to get $241 overnight if you're not in the exact same trades I'm in, and if you're not bidding what I'm bidding. I don't know if your account can handle all of those trades. I don't know if your account can handle that high of a bid. It's actually pretty easy to figure out. You just open up a demo account and you just like, well, I'm going to start at this bid and I'm going to trade everything. Let's see. You'll learn really fast. You'll learn in a few days and a few weeks. When you look at this, and you look at your own market pressure and you look at what your bid is and what's happening with the market, and you follow along with my results in the Telegram channel, you're going to go, oh, okay, here's what the market's doing. Here's what I could do. And if you ever get into a scenario where you want to back out of some things, I provide all the direction and instruction on how to do that. How to partially close a trade, how to get out, how to take some losses here and so it will win on the other side. All sorts of manipulations that you can do. And I kind of say it this way. I don't know if it's exact, but this is, to me, this is like a video game. I'm like, okay, here's all the plays that are happening. This is a video game. Like, for example, could I take profit on this trade right here, this $31 GBP CAD right now? I certainly could, but you have to look at it as a basket. So GBP CAD is in 2 trades. It's $27 up and $53 down. So there's a little bit of an imbalance there, right? I'm going to let this trade down here become more profitable. It's going to overtake this one, and then the system will auto close it with a total net profit. So talking about net profits, let's go to today's results like we were looking at. $241 of closure overnight. That could have been $24.10. That could be $2,400. It's completely scalable to your account. Whatever risk you want to take, whatever your account can handle. And yes, it is a feeling. It's not like in the past people would say, well, it looks like what you're saying is I can bid 0.01 lot size per $1,000 in my account. I'm like, you could do that until you can't do it. I don't know what your account size is. And even if I know what your account size is, it's more of, well, I'll also tell you this, the market's random. So the system and the automation follows that randomization, and it takes its best artificial intelligent guess, and its guess is really good. In fact, let's look at how good it is. Let's zoom out here and let's look at the last week's worth of trading on this account that I use to kind of track market pressure. So I also show these as results, and these are the exact trades that you would get with my software. So $1,956.92 for looking back for the past week. And the market closes in about an hour. That's incredible and fully scalable. You could scale it down, you can scale it up. It's all based off of your account. The real point behind this is not necessarily the numbers, although I know those are impressive, is that everything you see here, I'm going to scroll back. Everything in blue is a win, and everything in red is a loss out of a basket. It's still a win. I'll give you an example. If you make $10 but have to pay a $5 fee, you still got $5. You didn't lose 5. You didn't have the original 10 to begin with. Okay. So the point is, it ends in a net profit. But as I scroll back through here for the last week's worth of trades, and I'll do it slow enough so you can see what we're doing here, is that for you to be able to get in and out of all of these trades at the right time, in the middle of the night, at the right millisecond, because I'll give you an example here. Look at this AUD-JPY trade that made $10.45. If you had to do that manually, you'd have to be staring at least your mobile device. You'd have to be staring at it every millisecond of the day, because it might show $10.45 profit, and the EA, the automation, bam, it grabs that. If you look at it at any given millisecond, it might have been $10.45, it might have been $2.20, it might have been minus $3. So for you to manually do this emotionally, it's pure insanity. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's not a challenge. You can't do it, because look back here. Dozens and dozens and dozens. This is just for the week. Dozens and dozens and dozens and it just goes on. I'm halfway through the entire week. If you look at the little scroll bar on the right as I'm moving, I mean, I'm just going and going and going. These are the exact trades from my software system for the entire week. There's no losses, because a loss is something you would take off of your balance. You can see the balance here is up $1,956.92. So maybe I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm trying to pull people out of the emotional level of trading that you do not have to do. How do you plug into my software? Get a free broker account, plug in your account number and your username. End of story. End of story. Not 10 years of data manipulation, not rocket science PhD level tech understanding. That's what it takes. I'm not bragging. It's just I got to the level where I understand how to do this. But for you to be able to do that, yeah, it would be overwhelming, and your average person that wants to do this stuff is not going to put in the time. They don't have the time. I just ended up having the time. Side note, 30 seconds here. I just announced today in the group that I'm launching an elite Forex automation mastermind, EFAM. I'm launching that, and it's going to get you get to own the software. I won't go too far here, but you get to own the software, you own the server, you own all the manipulations, you own all of the settings. It is your portfolio. It's all yours. There's no just plugging into cloud software. You actually get the software. You actually get the settings. It's really, from my mind, it's a brain dump from me to you. So I've launched that elite mastermind. I'm only going to accept 12 people into it. I mean, who knows? Maybe only one person can afford to do something like this. But I know there's people out there that want to do it at this level and want to have control, pure control, very, very manipulative control over, and I say that in a positive way, positive manipulations over the market, over your portfolio, over your finances, complete control. Just like I have, that for you to be able to have would take years and years, and probably is nearly impossible because the amount of time that it takes, you might not and probably don't have that amount of time. But if I'm just doing a brain dump and guiding you, it makes your life and your Forex portfolio trading life a lot easier. All right, let's finish up with daily and weekly results. You can see here we ended about 240 for the day, 1,956 for the week. Let's jump and look at one additional account that takes the exact same trades. It's called my 10 pip day trader, but we only take one pair at a time. Let's look at that. So you can see here we're in a couple of Euro GBP trades. I ought to take this profit right now. It's market close. Looking really good. That's about $169 up. Let's look at the daily results. And here I'm being transparent. It got out of this trade and said, nope, I don't like it. So this particular trade took a $24 loss today. Not the point at all, really, because we're going to zoom out and look at it for the past week. And we're up $529. Now, it's interesting. I noticed this. We have some hellacious swap fees. But those are the things we don't control. Like, that's just what the broker's charging. Swap is holding a trade overnight. Some of these JPY pairs have huge swaps overnight. It is what it is. No, I don't care. I never even look at that, because what I look at is this right here. The overall net profit for the week, trading one currency pair at a time. And frankly, we got out of quite a few trades that were just hung there. And we still ended in a really nice net profit for the week. Next is the index and metals software. No trades open right now. I shut it down because I really don't like to hold indices and metals over the weekend. Let's look at the daily results here. Looks like $105. We did a quick US 30 buy this morning. It's the end of the week. You typically, indices and metals, the volatility falls off at the end of the week. So we did get one nice trade. And then if we look back for the week's worth of results, $3,272.43. That's really, really nice. These are very stable trades. My index and metals software is very, very stable. It's using these, high volatility pairs, US 30, SPX, NAS. I believe there's even some gold, some day trade golds. Gold, I'm saying it wrong here. Some gold trades that are considered around a day trader type of thing, not a scalper. So you can see these. You can scale these trades up or down, whatever you want. But, it was obviously doing extremely well. Did some sell trades. Look at this. Blue, 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 blue. It's nothing but winning. You're not going to win every trade. I'll even show where we took some losses. But remember, the key number is down here at the bottom, 3,272. There's no losses. There's maybe losses off of that day or that sequence worth of trades, but it ends in a net profit. There's one right there. Got out of SPX at minus $100. Now, most likely, if you look at this, that one there is coupled with this one here. It's probably a basket of trades. No, that's a sell and that's a buy. Okay, I'm wrong there. Nonetheless, it got out, but we still ended in a net profit. Here's some trades, a couple of US 30s that we got out of, weren't working out well. You're not going to win every trade. But if you look back through here, the number of blue trades that we have are incredible. Really, Only a couple of US 30 backouts and one SPX backout for the entire week. Still, net profit. So let's move on to the next, probably some of the most exciting, impressive results. People love gold. Let's look at the gold scalper. So currently no trades open. If I look at what the scalper did for the day, $1,448. Again, it's the end of the week. Volume is tearing off. And I like the fact, here's what you gotta find the value in this. The screen I showed you before has no trades open right now. Like, that's awesome. Market's about to close in 50 minutes. You don't want to be holding these over the weekend. Do we sometimes? Yeah, we do. It's not the end of the world, but you pay a little bit higher fee and you kind of hope that the market keeps moving in the right direction next week, right? So these are some incredible results. If I even zoom out and we look at it for, okay, that was the day. I haven't zoomed out yet. So there we go. Looking at it for the week, $5,343 in profit. So really just an incredible week there, ending for the gold scalper. And finally, one of my last pieces of software, something that's still in beta, really starting to ramp up. This is called the double hedge. We ended the week in $452 worth of profit. Again, completely scalable to your account. You can see I'm bidding anywhere from $5 to $1 per pip in this particular account, and fully scalable to yours. You can do ultimately whatever you want. If you're plugged into this software right now, but you're seeing my results, you're like, wait, I'm not getting some of those trades. Yeah, you're not getting all of these trades. Like, for example, the AUD USD is a brand new pair that I threw in here. Looks like it produced some really nice volume last night. Really what we're trading in this software right now publicly is EURCHF. So those are some really nice trades right there. And I believe also we're trading GBP USD. None of those closed overnight. But they have for the week. So if I look at for the week, yeah, you can see here $2,340 for the week. And if you look back, you will see, there you go, some GBP USD trades. Very profitable sequences of trades. There's some more right there. Look at those, man. Like, that, every trade in that sequence was profitable. Absolutely impressive. Again, this is my double hedge software. It's in beta right now. That's it. That's the recap for the week. I appreciate you joining me. I'd love to have you into the system. If you're finding this video and you're brand new and you want to trade Forex, you don't know anything about it, this is the way to go. I give just step-by-step complete guidance. We'll get on the phone if we have to. I'm not afraid to talk to people. I will absolutely help you and guide you as best I can based off of my own experience, which is 10 plus years. If you're just finding this and you're like, well, I don't want to sign up to anything. Well, great. We'll go join the Telegram group, join our Telegram channel, myfxsoftware.com. You'll see a button right there on the page, and it's free. You can see the Telegram results. I'll jump over there right now. Just posted totals for the week. You can see here 2,746 for the day, 13,411 for the week. Those are my accounts. I'm trading the software. That's what my software did on my accounts. You can have the exact same trade. I don't know if you can handle the same bid, but it doesn't matter, because guess what? A net profit is a net profit. If you have a $100 account and your net profit is $10, you did 10%. That's pretty good. So one thing to remember is people always want a certain amount of money, or typically it's a certain amount of money at the end of the month. Well, great. Base that off of, you have to base that off of your total account balance. 5 to 10%. Certainly, I make no promises. You could lose that much. But a 5 to 10% profit per month is massively realistic, probably very conservative, and there's not an investor in the world doing 10% a month. I shouldn't say, I'm sure there probably is, but I mean, when I'm talking like standard investor, like S&P 500, stocks, things like that. And I don't even really look at Forex as investing. I look at I make it, it's a Bitcoin generator for me, because I withdraw my profits in Bitcoin. However, you can withdraw your profits and do anything you want. But this is completely scalable. You can join the MyFX Software Telegram group. I started the results. I'll show you what this looks like. I start them every day with this image graphic. So you can see it says Friday, February 27th. So we're doing this in real time. And then I just go down and I show you the software. So my 10 pip day trader, I showed you the daily and weekly results, and then the same thing here. My index and metals software give you the daily and weekly results, and you can access this. If this isn't the most impressive data you've ever seen in the Forex market, I don't know what is. I don't know why you would manually trade. And with my system, you have the ability to plug into the software, You'll learn so much by simply watching what the best premier trading software does. You'll learn so much. People are like, well, I want to learn how to enter manually. Why? Why? Well, why would you want to do that? It just absolutely makes no sense, especially in today's AI/automation world. I mean, AI is the craze. AI is the craze. My gold scalping software is AI controlled. AI runs that thing and makes the decisions. The other softwares are programmed like a piece of software. I tell it what to do, when to do it, and it does that ad nauseum. It just does it on and on and on and forever. So that's it. We had a great week. This is a good opportunity for you to join the group and plug into the software this weekend and start getting trades when the market opens on Sunday night at 5 p.m. Eastern. It will blow your mind. Hook it up to a demo account to start with and set your bid. Maybe set it higher than you might normally, and just watch this thing work. It's the most impressive software suite and set of Forex trading entry strategies and automation that you'll ever see in the world, ever. Nothing beats this. So that's it. Appreciate you joining me this week. Have a great weekend. I know people love to sign up on the weekend. Join the group. I'm here. I'm here to help you, guide you. It's easy. It's simple. Setting up a broker account's free. Takes you about 5 minutes. You can be plugged right into the software. Appreciate you joining me. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later. Take care.